We have reports of a plane down in the Murphy Canyon neighborhood. San Diego Fire quickly coordinated a response for a plane down incident, and our units responded and started to investigate. Upon arrival, they found multiple vehicles on fire, and multiple homes on fire. Now I'll pass it to my Assistant Chief, Dan Eddy of Operations, who was here to give you more information.
Dan Eddy, San Diego Fire. So crews arrived on scene, the initial crews that found multiple houses and cars on fire. We had reports of a plane that had crashed in the neighborhood. It was unknown whether it was a military or a private plane. When they got on scene, they initiated quick attack of the fire and upgraded this to what we call an Alert 5, which is a plane off the field, followed by a second alarm, so we had enough units on scene. We were able to work with San Diego PD, evacuate homes across the region as we came through here and evacuate everything to the south of us. We were able to knock down those fires. At this time right now, we are able to say that no one was transported from the scene. So we don't have anybody that was transported off the scene, which is great news for us on this one. Fire was knocked down. We do have one stubborn car fire that will not go out to the south of us. So if you do see little wisps of smoke behind there, that's what that's from. At this time, we're continuing to fight the fire on that car fire. Everything else is out from the homes down the way. We have multiple crews that will be on scene doing decon and investigating. FAA is also on scene, and we're working in conjunction with them and San Diego PD to ensure that everything is searched, including the homes and everything that is the planes itself. We expect to be out here for 4 to 6 hours at least doing the investigation part of it until we pass it along. And then moving forward, we'll probably be here through the rest of the 24-hour period. I'm going to pass it off to Police Chief Scott Wall.
Good morning. First, I want to start by saying our heartfelt condolences to the families that are impacted by this terrible incident. From the police department side, our objectives were very simple: scene control, traffic control, and evacuations. We had officers from throughout the city that responded. We had over 50 officers that were able to get here within minutes. We started evacuating all of the homes that were impacted. We had an evacuation center up at Miller Elementary. We have close to 100 people that have been displaced and are up there. We've locked all the streets down. Essentially, Santo Road south of Arrow is still closed and will be for the next few hours and on into the day. And we're going to continue working collaboratively. I want to commend all of the first responders that were out here this morning, the fire department, the police department. I can't quite put words to describe what this scene looks like, but with the jet fuel going down the street and everything on fire all at once, it was pretty horrific to see. And for the police officers and firefighters to run in there, start trying to evacuate people out of the way and doing anything and everything they could to try to save somebody's life is really heroic. And again, I'm going to end with saying heartfelt condolences to the families that were impacted by this. And with that, let me introduce Mayor Todd Gloria.
Thank you, Chief. I also want to extend the condolences of the City of San Diego to the passengers aboard the plane's families on the ground. We will be continuing to keep you all posted throughout the day as more information becomes available. But what I can tell you right now is that we have had an extraordinary response effort here led by the San Diego Fire Rescue Department, the San Diego Police Department. But what you've seen is a collaborative effort with county, state, and federal partners, as well as our partners in the community. We have representation here from the Red Cross, the San Diego Humane Society, and other key partners that are making sure that those who are impacted here on the ground have the support they need. And that's what I want to say is that our city will be supporting these families who are impacted here. They're part of the military community that makes up our city, the proud partners of our community. And we will support them for as long as it takes to make sure that we get back to good here in Tierra Sana. Appreciate it, the early communication from Navy Region Southwest and Admiral Brad Rosen, who's an extraordinary partner for our city. I also want to note Councilmember Raul Campillo is monitoring the situation very, very closely. He'll be out here later today. But we're all going to band together and make sure that this situation is buttoned up. Again, extraordinary effort by our first responders. I can't emphasize that enough. The limitation in terms of the additional damage on the ground is a direct result of their hard work, of their expertise, of their professionalism. And I think every San Diegan expresses our appreciation to these heroes who got the job done this morning. It's still a tragedy, and again, our hearts are with those who are impacted. We'll continue to be here throughout this response effort. Make sure, again, the families who are impacted, those who are not able to access their homes, are well supported until they're able to get back into their homes. That said, as I mentioned, this has been a collaborative effort. We are on military property. These are military families, military housing, and here on behalf of Navy Region Southwest is the commanding officer for Naval Base, Captain Bob Healy. Captain Healy?
Good morning, Captain Bob Healy, and as the mayor mentioned, I am the commanding officer of Naval Base San Diego with oversight of the area here in Murphy Canyon. This is one of the largest military housing units in the world. Certainly we have a lot of military families that are impacted. Again, want to send our condolences and thoughts and prayers to all of those impacted by this. Our foremost concern right now is to make sure that we have the safety of our families who reside in the neighborhood behind us. We are doing that down the street at Miller Elementary, and we really appreciate the local cooperative efforts to make sure that our military families are taken care of. So that'll be primary going forward, and again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone. So thank you very much.
Any questions?
A point of
preliminary casualty count
for fire. You stated that there have been no transports. Does that mean if casualties are limited to just those on the plane, or has there just not been a full sweep yet?
No, we've done a full sweep. We're doing what's called a fob. So we go in between and we're looking at everything down the airport that we have here. There's a possible debris field all the way back behind us, all the way into here. So we're going to make sure, and we do a step-by-step process of going through the housing units that we have down here. No one was transported out of the housing units. That's where I say we were lucky in that fact that no one from those homes was injured that we've had so far. We had some possible minor injuries, but no one was transported from the scene from any of the housing units. All the fatalities right now look to be that they're from the plane. We're working with the FAA right now to find out how many actual people were registered on that plane. We'll have more information for that here shortly when we get those numbers. But everything that's a fatality right now appears to be from the plane itself.
Can you tell us how many? Is it more than one fatality?
Yes, there are more than one fatality that we've found so far, but we're waiting to get the registered numbers that were on the plane itself.
Two things. It was a commercial. What kind of plane?
It was a private plane. So a private plane, and it was registered out of the Midwest is where the flight originated from, is what we have. We're still getting the final information on it.
And how many people was it able to carry?
The plane itself, I believe, holds 8 to 10 people with the pilot included, but at this time we don't know how many people were actually registered on the plane.
Any communication from the pilot?
We don't have anything on the communication from the pilot.
Was the Montgomery Tower open at the time, overnight?
I believe so, but that's something that the FAA can answer for you. I don't know on that one. On the fire side, I don't know.
But we know of no communication last minute from the pilot of the plane.
I don't have any communication from FAA on that one, if they were coming through on that one. On the fire side, we arrived on scene and found the plane into the sides of the houses over here.
Are we going to be able to hear from somebody with the FAA?
Yeah, later on we'll have somebody that will come with the FAA. We wanted to come right now and give you the best information that we could at the start here, and then we'll get someone over here to give you more information.
Updated numbers on damaged homes.
At this time right now, that's what we're doing, the fob and walking through on it. I can tell you that there are multiple homes, upwards of 10 homes that are affected. Also, when it hit the street, as the jet fuel went down, it took out every single car that was on both sides of the street on fire. So if you saw the scene, I know some of you had some images from earlier, you could see that every single car was burning down both sides of the street. And so that's something that we're going to have to look at too. That's why you have the wisps of smoke, because we have one car fire that just will not go out no matter what we put on it right now. There is multiple homes that are destroyed, yes. So
I had a question because I was down there at the scene and you saw the one on the corner with a collapsed roof. Is that the most significant?
That's the most significant impacted house, is the one on the far east side of that street. That's the most impacted. We are doing that walkthrough right now for looking at multiple items. One, damage to the homes. We're also looking for parts of that plane because it'll be part of the investigation as we go through, right? And then we're also looking for victims.
You say no one was transported from the homes,
yeah,
miraculously.
Yes.
Is it possible some of those, and I know this is very early,
yeah,
were vacant?
It could be that homes were vacant, but at the same time, too, our fires crews did a phenomenal job of doing primary and secondary searches. The way that works for us is we have one crew search the entire home, a secondary crew comes in after them, searches it again. Now that we've had daylight, we're also flying our UAS, which is our drone. So our drone is getting flown overhead, too, to make sure that there's no damage on top of these homes or anyone there either.
Have any of the residents been able to tell you how in the world they survived in terms of your people?
I believe that some of our people ran into residents when they were coming out. I don't have any of the updates on that.
Was it headed to Montgomery Field?
It looked like it was heading in Montgomery Field. Yes, if you look, you just saw the plane come overhead, was heading in that same direction.
And do planes usually come in that late? Is that normal?
I don't know on that one. On that, I'm unsure on that.
When you say Midwest,
Yeah.
that's about all you have?
That's what we have right now. We'll have more information from the FAA on that once we get it. And for us, too, it's very important for us to find out how many people were on that plane.
NTSB, have they talked to you and we're on our way from somewhere?
Yes, NTSB is en route also to do the investigation.
Do you know where they're from?
No, I don't.
And when, you know when they'll arrive?
Hopefully soon. I do not have an arrival time. As soon as we get that to you, we'll get it passed across from our PIO.
Was it all military housing that was affected?
Yeah, so everything behind us here is all military housing. To the south end of Arrow Road that you see is all military housing around it. We're standing on military housing ground here right now. So it was all military housing that was affected.
And when you talk about the debris field, like how can you kind of describe like how big of a debris field are we talking?
So we're talking about debris field all the way back to the power lines that you see behind you. So that's where we're investigating from there, trying to keep that area back.
You say power lines.
Yeah.
Possibly, I know you don't want to speculate without the FAA or NTSB, but there's a debris field from power lines that are nearby.
Yeah.
Can you be more specific?
So as you can see behind, there's a clipped power line behind us back there. We're trying to figure out if that was involved from the plane. That's something that they'll be investigating also. I don't have the exact numbers as to if it did hit it or not.
The nature of the debris below the power line would indicate?
That's what we're looking at right now.
What
That's where
kind
we're
of
sending.
debris are we
No, that's
talking?
why we're sending our second FOB crew to see if it does affect it or not. Our first main concern was the houses behind us, to ensure that those were there. So our first crews went through and searched that. We're now moving our crews over to that debris field behind there with the FAA to work on it.
With the power line clip, do we know about outages right now?
So right now, luckily, we have no outages that have been hit. SDG&E has done a great job giving us updates and ensuring that everything is running well. As the day goes on and more people wake up and go through the rest of it, we'll ensure that we give you updates on that if there is any power affected.
I know San Diego Humane Society is here. We've seen a number of animals carted out of the neighborhood. Can you tell us anything about those animals?
I don't have number of animals. I can get that to you, absolutely.
Do you know if they were hurt or if they're...
I don't have that either. My main focus was trying to ensure that we had all the people out of there first, but I can get you all those numbers here shortly.
Do you know whether EMTs were treating people there? We were over at a self-evacuation center, and there were people with burned feet, for example, just trying to get out of their homes.
Yeah.
Did you have people on the scene actually treating people?
Yes, we had people on the scene treating people. Nobody was actually transported. The people that were over at your scene were brought back to the scene, treated. They were not transported to the hospital. They decided to sign out. Any other questions?
I think maybe for Captain Healy, what sort of services are available for the folks that are impacted back there?
Yeah, certainly we've had a community-wide effort to really bring a lot of services we need. I know the USO, the emergency services for the city is, and I've also had multiple organizations reach out, connect and find ways they can connect with our families. So we're using Miller Elementary as that staging ground right now, and certainly there's a lot of things that we're going to have to look at moving forward for families to rebuild, their lives and their homes and things like that.
Anything that somebody wants to do to help, who can they coordinate with?
You can coordinate with the base, Naval Base San Diego Public Affairs, and we'll take it from there.
How are the evacuated families coping right now?
They're coping well. Certainly they're shocked, and to wake up to this, so certainly we're going to be by their side to make sure that they're properly cared for, as anyone would expect, and really appreciate the community-wide effort to support us in that endeavor.
I don't know if you can talk to this, but we've talked to some of the military folks who live in the neighborhood, and they really jumped into action to help their neighbors. Probably a lot of their military training could have really helped out in a situation like this.
Yeah. Well, like the gentleman standing behind me, I mean, we're trained to act, in crisis mode. So many of the sailors, Marines, and others that you saw really, stepped in and took action and got the families out. And certainly the first responders jumped on the scene very quickly to support us. So it's a team effort.
gotta make
Captain,
it go.
as the day goes along, is it possible there could be another evacuation center beyond Miller? Or is that the official one right now? And we think
At this point, that's going to be the only one at this point, yes, sir.
I have one quick question just to clarify on the fatalities, and I know that's just, you're looking at the plane, but is it accurate to say you believe that multiple people?
It's accurate that multiple people believe we have multiple fatalities. From what we've found so far on scene, we do believe we have multiple fatalities, but we're going to have to go through and take our time and ensure that exactly what we have.
Okay, guys, thank you for being out here and helping us get information out. We'll try to have another briefing before 11 o'clock, so I'll stand by for that. Thank you, guys.